Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about domain. We're going to analyze everything. No, not everything actually. I don't know. It's not I don't know everything about domain. Please, before I continue again, do well to like, subscribe, and watch the video till the end. If there is any way you can correct me, thank you. And if I did well, just give me a thumbs up. And we'll go to domain. So what is a domain? I don't start giving definitions of a domain. I just want to give you examples of a domain. So now, let me take myself for example. Now, when I was younger than this age, I attended many primary schools. Let me say, for example, I attended Central Maria Northern Primary School, Children of Light Central, Children of Light Northern Primary School, Central School, Nibo, and Olive Child Northern Primary School. Many of them. Now, my domain, when I was in primary school, are the schools that you are going to go and you find my details, you find my name, you find some things about me in that school. That is my domain in primary school. So now, let's say for example, now you go to maybe primary school in Texas. No, you can't find my details there because I did not go there. So that is not my domain in primary school. I hope you understand the examples I'm giving. Okay, now you go back to secondary school, the same thing. My domain in secondary school are the schools that you go, you find my details, and those are so and so. So and also maybe my family, people that you meet, that tell you that those are my domains. So now, what are domain actually? Domain of any number are what? Are the set of what? Numbers that defines are the set of what? Numbers that defines that function. The domain of a function are the set of what? Numbers that define that function. Let's quickly go to the board. Let's go to the board. Let's say x squared plus 4. What is the domain of 4? What is the domain of this? Okay, let's say f of x is equal to x squared plus 4. What is the domain of this function on the board? Now, actually, the domain of this function of the board is all real numbers. Why did I say that it's all real numbers? Okay, before I use this one, let me say f of x equal to x squared. F of x equal to the square root of x. What is the domain of this one? The domain of this one here is all real numbers. Why is it all real numbers? It is all real numbers because there is no number that when you take the square, or that when you obtain the square of the number, it's going to give you math error. No, it is not possible. That is, if every number. Okay, let's prove it. From the negative side, let's come from the negative hand side. Okay, let's say negative 1 over 2. When you square negative 1 over 2, you have what? Positive 1 over 4. Okay, let's take a whole number. Let's say negative 4. When you square negative 4, you have what? Positive what? 16. Okay, let's go to 0. 0 squared is equal to what? 0. Let's go over to the positive side. You have a 1 over 2 squared. You have what? 1 over 4. 1 over 4. You have 4 squared. You have what? 16. So you see that any number you pick from the real line, this must what? It must work out. So the domain of this is what? All real numbers. So we go back to this other one. The domain of this again is what? All real numbers. The domain of this, all real numbers. Now let's go back to this one. What is the domain of this? If I say all real numbers, is it correct? Some people might say yes, it's correct. Some people might say no. Some people might say I don't know. Now the answer to this is this. It is not going to be all real numbers. Why? Why is because negative numbers, negative real numbers, doesn't have a say on this root operation. Now, whenever you take the square root of negative number, let's say negative 4, you're going to have math error. Or, yes, you're going to have math error because negative number square root operation doesn't work on negative numbers. Do you understand that? Now you might ask yourself, why is it that root operation does not work on negative numbers? Do you know that the square root operation and the square operation are twin? Do you know that? They are twin. So there is no number that whenever you square it, it will give you negative number. It is not possible. No, it's not possible. So that is the reason why root operation doesn't accept anything what negative, because the brother square operation doesn't give out negative. So it only accepts what the brother can give out. If the brother can give out negative, it will accept negative. But since the brother gives out only positive, it doesn't. So that is my brief explanation. So that is that. So here the answer is what? The domain is non-negative numbers. You might ask yourself, why am I using non-negative numbers? I'm using non-negative numbers because 0 is not a positive number. To my own knowledge, 0 is not a positive number, 0 is not a negative number, and 1, 2, 3, and so on are positive. So I'm going to, when I say a non-negative numbers, I'm sure I did not fail what I said. So these are the little things I want to talk to us about today on domain. So now, the domain of this one are what? All non-negative numbers. So let's quickly look at another one. We say f of x is equal to, let's say 1 over x. 1 over x. What is the domain of this? The domain of this is what? All real numbers. Did I get it? No. The reason why I failed this is that I said all real numbers, and 0 is also in real numbers, and division by 0 is what? Math error. So that means that there is a point that you have 1 over 0 as you have x as what? 0, and you end up having 1 over 0. You have math error, and this kind of function will destroy the components of the calculator or some particles in the brain. So we don't need to operate this. So the domain to this function is actually all real numbers apart from 0. All real numbers excluding 0. So that is it. And let's go over to another one. F of x, let's say f of x is equal to 1 over x minus 4. What is the domain of this? The domain of this function is all real numbers. Did I get it correct? No. The reason why I failed it is because there is a point where we are going to have 1 over what? 0. There's a point we're going to have 1 over 0. And what is that point? That point is when x is equal to 4. At x equal to 4, we have 1 over 0. So now the domain of this function is all real numbers apart from 4. So all real numbers excluding 4. That is the domain of this. So now I believe that so far so good. You've understood some things in domain, so you need to be practicing more and more and more to get acquainted with some things in domain. So that will now lead us to go over to range. Let's say range. What is range? What is range of a function? Now, range of a function. Let me go back to my primary school scenario, for example. I went to let's say I went to 5 different schools, 5 different primary schools. And in each of the schools I went to, you will find my details. Those are my domain. Do you understand? So those are my domains, and the range are what? This and this. There are 5. So that is what I can give out as range. So let's go to the board now. I'm going to give only 2 examples here. Let's say 1 over x. What is the range of this? the range of this value now is all real numbers exclude without 0. All real numbers without what? 0. So you can say from negative infinity, open bracket, negative infinity, open bracket 0, open bracket 0, comma, open bracket infinity. Do you understand? That is what the range. So what about 1 over x minus 4? Now this other one is you can say all real numbers again without 0 again, because there is some point that here is going to be what? 4, and we have what? 4 minus 4 is going to give you what? 0. So the range of numbers will not have what? 0. The range of numbers is not going to have what? 0. While the domain of the numbers is not going to have 4. So in my next video, I'm going to be treating range and domain. Thank you. Do have a nice day. My name is SIR-MuCOT. Please do like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.